Welcome back. I'm prepared to be bedazzled because today I'm going to be shedding light on my story appertaining to working my first minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry at a gross wage of $6.55 per hour at age 16, that had hazardous employee working conditions in the land of Draconian slavery, Draconian oppression. So how was this aforementioned experience, you may ask? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify the answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Lamentably, much to my dismay, much to my consternation, much to my chagrin, much to my grief, much to my agony, much to my agitation, much to my irritation, the aforementioned experience was egregiously abysmal and no fast cess. What I deem this aforementioned minimum wage employee job to be a dead-end, highly time-depleting, debilitating minimum wage, dispiriting, unfulfilling, undesirable, harrowing, distressful, brutally wretched, and ethically agonizing job, and no fast cess. The aforementioned employee job was devoid of redeeming qualities. I was recalcitrant about working it. However, my parent wanted me to work a minimum wage employee job when I was 16 years old. Prior to the advent of working this aforementioned minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry, I earned anywhere between $2,100,000 to $2,300,000 video views on my YouTube channel. However, that was not enough to qualify me to get monetized on my YouTube channel. Working this aforementioned minimum wage employee job provided me with a 0% chance to attain financial stability and financial security. Since it does not offer a subsistence wage. If your only source of remuneration is derived from working a dead-end minimum wage employee job, then it will not even furnish you with enough fiat currency to be able to afford to even temporarily attain an extremely low standard of living. You cannot afford to attain your basic need of housing, nor your basic need of transportation if your emolument is capped at the minimum wage threshold by working a minimum wage employee job. So when you conduct a cost-benefit analysis, you can summarily ascertain that working a minimum wage employee job does not warrant the time expenditure. This minimum wage employee job that I worked at, hazardous employee working conditions, required me to undergo strenuous manual labor to sustain working, and it also exposed me to secondhand smoke. There was secondhand smoke at the job site, which exposed me to hazardous carcinogens, deleterious neurotoxins, and perilous endocrine disruptors. Secondhand smoke pervaded the air at the job site. It permeated throughout the job site and just exacerbated the experience of working the employee job. I was quite hired in to fulfill 2 to 3 employee jobs during my employee shifts at the employer's job site. When I was working my first minimum wage employee job, my first minimum wage employee job entailed being a busser. However, I was quite hired in to fulfill the role of a server, and the restaurant only leveraged 2 bussers at a time, even though they could have easily doubled the quantity of bussers. The bussers would not only be responsible for hauling the heavy trays of dishes from the dining areas to the kitchen, but would also be responsible for jotting down the beverage orders, preparing the beverages, and doling out the beverages to the customers. The role of the server should not be outsourced to the busser. The customers would seldom tip the bussers at the restaurant. I once again recapitulate: if your emolument is fettered at minimum wage, then not only will it furnish you with a negligible amount of purchasing power, but will also be inconducive to furnishing you with enough fiat currency to be able to afford to attain your basic needs, such as your basic need of transportation and your basic need of housing. So, I detest and disdain working my first minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry at a gross wage of $6.55 per hour at age 16, and had hazardous employee working conditions on the line of draconian slavery and draconian oppression. It did not offer a subsistence wage, did not offer any benefits, it did not offer a pension, it did not offer safe employee working conditions. Sustaining working that aforementioned employee job was extraordinarily cumbersome. It was ineffably cumbersome in all facets. It required extremely heavy lifting to sustain working that employee job. Undergoing repetitive stress motions can be perilous, especially when it involves constant heavy lifting. We're not meant to incessantly lift heavy trays of dishes. So, I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, enthralling, insightful, intriguing, engrossing, and amusing. If you are going to become part of the real private sector workforce and work in worthwhile entrepreneurial capacities that have an uncapped and unfettered earnings potential, you never want your earnings potential to be tethered to your time. Your time is precious and valuable and sacrosanct. Once again, I hope that you deem this video to be eminently entertaining in all facets. Thanks for watching. Have a blissful day.